What kind of tile can you put on the wall or shower? Do you have to seal tile? How much extra tile should I buy for my project? What thinset is the best for my tile application? How hard is it to maintain natural stone? You have questions, we have answers. Welcome to the Belk Tile Podcast. How to style the bathroom, the backyard, the kitchen. How to improve your home style with tiles to make your home absolutely beautiful. Welcome to the Belk Tile Podcast. Here's your host, Mike Belk.
So, black tiles have been evolving from a niche design element to the centerpiece of modern spaces. They're particularly big in powder rooms these days. 50% of modern homes now feature black tiles in those spaces. Can you imagine that?
50%? Wow. Even 5 years ago, most people shied away from dark tiles, especially in smaller rooms like powder rooms.
Exactly. It's interesting how the perception has shifted. Now, people see black tiles as sophisticated, even transformative. In cities like Los Angeles or San Francisco, they're especially popular. Homeowners there are leaning into bold, high-contrast looks.
Why do you think that is? Is it just trendy, or is there more to it?
I think it's a combination of factors. For one, urban living tends to favor modern and minimalist aesthetics, and black tiles, well, they just scream modern elegance. Plus, they're incredibly versatile. In Chicago, for instance, I worked on a luxury condo not too long ago. The client wanted their powder room to really stand out, so we used black hexagon tiles as the centerpiece of the design.
Oh, stop right there. Hexagon black tiles? Tell me that looked amazing.
Oh, it did. We paired the black tiles with brushed brass fixtures. Talk about striking. The lighting played a big role, too. Soft, warm lights brought out the depth in the tiles' matte finish. It honestly felt like stepping into a little jewel box.
That's the thing, right? Light is so crucial with black tiles. Without the right lighting, they can go from luxurious to, kind of oppressive.
That's true. In smaller spaces like powder rooms, lighting needs to be carefully planned. But when done right, a black-tiled space can feel cozy, even glamorous. And it's not just Chicago. Los Angeles homes lean heavily on glossy finishes for a sleeker, more modern vibe, while San Francisco incorporates black tiles with a more rustic or industrial edge.
Oh, I love that. So it's like each city has its own personality when it comes to black tiles.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that black tiles aren't limited to powder rooms. They're making their way into kitchens, living rooms, even outdoor spaces. It's really about mixing them with complementary elements like metallics, greenery, or wood to create a balanced look that suits the space.
The versatility alone is mind-blowing. Like whether you're aiming for bold, ultra-modern, or something a little cozier, black tiles can do it all. Speaking of versatility, patterns are where black tiles really shine. They can completely transform a space. So what are some of the most popular patterns you're seeing lately?
Patterns, yeah, they're huge. Right now, hexagon, herringbone, and chevron are dominating. Hexagon tiles in particular seem to have this timeless yet modern vibe. They can add structure to a space but still feel organic,
For sure. And herringbone, it just gives this classic but fresh energy. Every time I see a black herringbone backsplash, I want to immediately redesign my kitchen.
Herringbone's been really popular in kitchens lately, but it's versatile enough for floors or accent walls too. And then there's chevron, which, similar to herringbone, feels bold and directional but brings just a little more flair to the table.
Yeah, I love that chevron kind of pulls your eye through the room, making it feel bigger. But okay, patterns aside, finishes are what really seal the deal with black tiles, right? There's such a difference between glossy and matte.
Absolutely. Glossy finishes are all about luxury and drama. They reflect light beautifully, making spaces feel larger and more open, perfect for smaller rooms. But matte brings this soft, grounded elegance. It's more muted, easier to maintain, and honestly better for high-traffic areas.
And then you've got slate finishes, right? They give such a natural, textured look. I worked on a project last year where we paired matte black subway tiles with brass fixtures. It was like instant drama.
Oh, that sounds stunning. Brass and black tiles are a match made in design heaven. Mixing metallics with black tiles, whether it's brass, gold, or even chrome, elevates the entire space. It's bold but balanced.
Totally. And then when you throw in a pop of color like deep emerald green or a dusty pink, oh my gosh, it just completely transforms the vibe.
Yeah, that color pop is a great way to soften black tiles while maintaining their dramatic impact. And let's not forget pairing black tiles with white for that classic high contrast look. It's simple, timeless, and works in pretty much any setting.
Oh, 100%. Plus, you've got the option of mixing multiple textures in one space, like combining matte floors with glossy walls or slate accents. It just keeps the design interesting, you know?
Exactly. Texture and contrast are key when working with black tiles. They give depth and personality to a room without overwhelming it. The options are practically endless.
So, with how finishes and pairings can completely transform a space, it's also key to think about the materials themselves. Ceramic, porcelain, marble, slate, they all bring their own vibe and, of course, their own price point. Let's break it down.
Right. Ceramic tiles, for example, are probably the most affordable option. They're super versatile, come in tons of finishes and styles, and they tend to fall on the lower end of the pricing spectrum. We're talking a few dollars per square foot for some really solid choices.
Which makes them perfect for someone doing like a budget-conscious bathroom refresh, right? But then you've got to step up with porcelain tiles, which feel a bit more luxe and definitely more durable.
Exactly. Porcelain's a great middle ground option. It's denser, less porous, and can handle higher foot traffic, so it's a smart choice for kitchens or even outdoor patios. You're looking at anywhere between $5 to $15 per square foot, depending on the texture and finish.
And then there's black marble tiles. Oh my gosh, that's peak luxury right there. But let's be real, they don't exactly come cheap.
No, marble's definitely a higher end option. With its veining and polished sheen, it's truly stunning, but you're looking at $20 to $30 per square foot, and that's before installation costs. It's more of an investment, but for spaces like a master bathroom or an entryway, it's tough to beat in terms of impact.
Totally agree. But what about slate? I love that it bridges the gap between earthy and chic, and it just feels so tactile, you know?
Absolutely. Slate tiles are incredibly durable, and they perform well in areas exposed to elements like outdoor spaces or mudrooms. Price-wise, they're somewhere between porcelain and marble, so typically around $10 to $20 per square foot. Plus, they're naturally stain-resistant, which makes them really practical.
Oh yeah, I had a project where we used black slate tiles on an outdoor patio. The clients were worried about spills and stains because, you know, it's a space they entertain in all the time. Slate was like the perfect solution. They loved the natural texture, and it holds up beautifully against weather and wear.
That's a great example, and what's nice about slate is that, like you said, it brings that natural element while still feeling upscale. It's the kind of material that works in everything from rustic to modern designs.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about these different materials. You've got options that fit every style, every budget, and they don't feel like compromises. It's all about choosing what works best for the space and the way it's used.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a wrap for today. And hey, if this episode helps just one person feel more confident about picking out their black tiles, then we've done our job.
Totally. This has been so much fun. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the Belk Tile Podcast. When it comes to creating a beautiful home using tile, this is the podcast for products, design ideas, and tips. We hope you got some useful, practical information from this show, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, reach out. The website is www.belktile.com. Our store phone number is 614-543-8334. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Belk Tile and on Instagram at Belk Tiles. Make sure to leave a rating and review. And if you have questions or comments, reach out. And we'll talk about it on the next show. Till next time.